visually compare universe and UNX files across one or more business objects environments in the same version or of different versions. In this demonstration, we will illustrate how an end user can simply drag and drop a universe or UNX file from two different locations and understand all the structural or lower level differences between each. The first thing we'll do is launch the MetaMiner client. We type in or search for the MetaMiner server, and then we find that the server returns a list of 3 environments, 2 Xi3 environments and 1 BI4. Once we confirm that we want to connect to that environment, we then are presented with a dialog box that gives us a brief status of what the MetaMiner server is currently doing while the user interface loads. The user interface is now loaded, at which time we'll go to the Visual Diff tab and now start to explore some of that deeper metadata. So the first thing that we're going to do is search for the universe in question. We type eFashion, and when I do so, we'll notice that we do have eFashion that is appearing in a number of different places, both UNX and UNV format. I'll first drag from the VPDev31 environment eFashion, and then eFashion 3. You'll notice once the results come back that we can now browse through all of the differences between each side using the difference browse buttons. So this goes to the first change, or the previous change, the next change, or the last change. Down in the bottom left corner we can see that there's a total of 9 changes between both of the universe files. Now I simply scroll down, and the first thing we do see is that Stored Details 2 is a new class visible in the eFashion 3 universe and not in the eFashion universe. And as I continue to scroll down, you'll notice that different other differences or changes between both environments appear. So here we have a few more filters, and as I continue to go down, you'll also see, again, changes in description. Okay, so here we have a description that says sales revenue, revenue of SKU sold. And here we have another description with a slightly different text. And when we have the same content, except there's a different change in the actual content, for example, a description change, we see that it is signified by an update entry. And this is, in the green, is a completely new node in the universe that wasn't available in the left side. Now, it might be quicker to perform this type of analysis if we hide all of these lower level properties. So what we can do now is I can reset all my filters and select hide all properties, and when I do so, you'll notice that my universe trees show only those classes and objects at the highest level. So it's much easier for me to quickly glance through and see where the changes exist. So again, we have a class on the right side, a few filters on the left side that never made it to the right side. Again, a few more objects and classes. And down here, you can see that we actually have some tables and columns that exist in one side and not the other. So it looks like the universe designer may have added, may have removed the VV table or alias and added in its place promotion alias. Okay. So again, as we perform other analyses, we can also look at UNX files. And one thing to keep in mind is when I look at UNX files or UNV files, if we have multiple versions available to us, you'll notice that in the versions box, we can then, from here, drag and drop the different version. So we select version 1 here for business layer multi, and we have version 12. And once we show that, we can see that we have a new object present in our newer version versus the older one. And now if we just clear all the filters, again, you'll see all of the finer granular detail behind that change. And don't forget that as we've been comparing universe and UNX files between one another in the same environment, we can also span multiple business object environments of multiple versions. So in this scenario, what I can do is I can look at eFashion in this xi3 machine, and then pull in eFashion from this xi3 machine. Okay, and when I do that, again, we see 7 changes and then we can go to each change. Change 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then showing you one example of a UNX to UNV comparison. We'll drag eFashion UNX and in our BI4 environment, and then we'll drag in eFashion from our xi3 environment. Okay, and when we do that, you can see that we do have a number of changes as there's different types of metadata present. And for example, we have shortcut join true, here shortcut join is false, etc., etc. Now if I hide all of these other properties, you can see here that my UNX on the left versus my UNV on the right does have, it looks like there is different metadata that was stored in different locations of the universe.